McDonald's, one of the most recognizable brands in the world. The company has experienced annual growth for 17 consecutive years and operates more than 40,000 restaurants worldwide as of 2022. In 2022, McDonald's dominated the fast food industry with the highest brand value, commanding a whopping valuation of $196.5 billion. However, despite making over $23 billion in revenue last year, the company has struggled with its core business and could be threatened with extinction. In this video, we'll discuss the issues McDonald's faces that could potentially bring down the most profitable fast food chain. Before moving on, please consider subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell to stay informed about the most fascinating economic topics. McDonald's has been facing a significant crisis since its inception: the disagreement between corporate and franchise owners. Around 93% of McDonald's restaurants worldwide are run by independent, local business owners. This can potentially harm the brand, as the responsibility of running the restaurants lies with these smaller firms. In 2022, the corporation implemented significant changes within the company, which led to severe dissatisfaction among thousands of franchise owners. As part of the changes, the corporation has stated that it will be conducting stricter reviews of current franchisees every 20 years to ensure they meet the required standards to maintain their restaurants. The review process will now take into consideration factors such as customer complaints and performance history when franchisees apply to maintain or expand their restaurants. Some franchisees were taken aback by the changes and felt that the company's actions were excessive. However, why did the corporation decide to proceed with the plan even though the franchisees were explicitly angry? McDonald's set out with a clear objective: to revolutionize its operations by retaining only the most exceptional operators within the system. The company also aimed to free up some stores, making way for new franchisees, as part of their strategic initiative to attract a diverse range of fresh talent. To achieve this goal, McDonald's launched PACE, a powerful program that stands for Performance and Customer Excellence, which has already been implemented in numerous global markets. The program is run by third-party companies meticulously evaluating the operator's performance to ensure exceptional results. Franchisees have expressed their concerns regarding the surveys, stating that they are biased and do not accurately represent the views of all their customers. They believe that the company had committed to using the surveys solely to identify trends and areas of improvement and not establish franchising standards. According to a survey conducted by the National Owners Association, an advocacy group that represents more than 1,300 of McDonald's franchisees, 98% of the respondents felt that McDonald's leadership should have consulted and collaborated with owner leadership before announcing franchise changes. When asked if senior corporate management at McDonald's had the best interests of the owners in mind when approaching franchising, 95% of the respondents answered negatively. Approximately 400 franchisees participated in the survey, representing nearly 17% of the total owners. The National Franchisee Leadership Alliance, which represents U.S. McDonald's operators, even requested that the implementation of the new rules be postponed until June 23 rather than January 1st. However, McDonald's rejected the request. Moreover, there have been a lot of debate around the joint employer clause. McDonald's has been increasing its control over its franchisees, but at the same time denying any joint employer relationship. This means that McDonald's is not held legally responsible for any actions taken by franchise owners. This argument has been supported by legal decisions such as one made by the National Labor Relations Board. The board found McDonald's not responsible for labor violations at its franchises. The decision was reached after franchise workers filed a complaint with the NLRB in 2012, claiming that they were fired for engaging in union organizing activities. McDonald's argued that it could not be considered a joint employer. In 2015, during the Obama administration, the definition of joint employer was expanded to ensure that corporate owners take responsibility for labor practices at franchises and engage in union negotiations. However, in 2018, the threshold for being considered a joint employer was lowered under the Trump administration, which was seen as a triumph for corporate owners. In 2019, McDonald's settled with franchise workers after the NLRB ruled that it was not accountable for any unfair labor practices at independently run restaurants. But no, the Fast Food Workers Committee appealed the decision in 2021. The settlement was upheld in April 2022. Therefore, McDonald's was not held liable for using child labor at one of its franchises. An investigation by the U.S. Department of Labor found that 3 McDonald's branches in Kentucky violated child labor laws. The inquiry revealed that 2 10-year-olds were working late hours without pay, sometimes until 2 a.m. Franchisees responsible own 62 McDonald's locations across Kentucky, Indiana, Maryland, and Ohio. Investigation also found that 305 children were employed to work beyond legally permitted hours and perform prohibited job tasks for their age. Franchisees have been fined over $200,000 due to these violations. And then there is the problem of a costly remodel policy for the restaurants. In August 2018, McDonald's announced a nationwide makeover that would cost over $6 billion. Makeover would include technological upgrades such as digital kiosks for ordering, digital menu boards, and designated parking for mobile app users. McDonald's franchise owners are responsible for 75% of the cost of refurbishments, while McDonald's covers the remaining expenses. Older McDonald's locations may need to spend nearly $1 million, whereas newer restaurants may need a few $100,000 per location to meet the update requirements.
Today, major business leaders have had enough with Chicago's out-of-control crime. McDonald's CEO Chris Kempczinski speaking out.
Everywhere I go, I'm confronted by the same question these days. What's going on in Chicago? While it may wound our civic pride to hear it, there is a general sense out there that our city is in crisis.
In California, for instance, the new AB 1228 legislation, or the Fast Food Franchisor Responsibility Act, according to McDonald's franchisees, will cost small business owners $250,000 annually. The forthcoming bill not only implements a rise in the minimum wage for fast food workers, which will take effect from April 1st, 2024, it also establishes a council that can endorse further wage hikes in the future. Nevertheless, the NOA has voiced its apprehension that the proposed law would impose costs that the present business model simply cannot bear. The group contends that 95% of the state's 1,300 McDonald's restaurants are owned and operated by small business proprietors. Last year, despite a 5.9% increase in same-store sales, McDonald's franchisees experienced a decrease of over $100,000 per location in cash flow. According to the National Owners Association and franchisees, although sales increased by 10.3% in the fourth quarter, food costs rose even more rapidly, leading to a reduction in cash flow. According to recent federal data, wholesale food costs surged 14.3% year over year, while labor and energy expenses also rose. This implies that even though menu prices have increased by 10%, franchisees are earning less per sale. In summary, while customers pay more for their food, franchisees struggle to sustain their profits. It's no surprise that 2021 has been a wild year for McDonald's. With over 1,700 franchise-owned restaurants changing hands, fast food giant has set a new record. That's about 13% of all locations, which were already over 13,000 at the start of the year. According to some franchisees, there are still many more owners looking to sell their spots. In fact, this number of franchisees looking to sell is quite significant, especially when compared to Burger King. The flame-grilled rival had a transfer rate of only 6% last year, with which is less than half what McDonald's has seen. Last but not least,
McDonald's did announce Friday it would be raising franchising service fees in the U.S. from 4% to 5% next year for new owners and changing the name to royalties. The NOA says the change in nomenclature is, quote, very significant and will remove the company's duty to provide vital services. It said owners are flowing less cash today than they were in 2010, despite the corporation making record-breaking revenue.
McDonald's has announced that it will increase its royalty fee for franchise operators opening new restaurants in the U.S. and Canada. Starting January 1st, these operators will now have to pay a fee of 5% of sales, which is higher than the previous rate of 4%. However, this change will not affect all franchise operators. The rate will remain the same for those who already operate McDonald's locations and extend their leases, and those who sell their franchises to other operators. The new rate will only apply to those opening a franchise for the first time or purchasing an existing restaurant under specific scenarios. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button and feel free to share your opinion on the subject in the comment section below.